Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It's time for a brand new video, and we're coming up to January, people. It is transfer season, and we're going to get into it lightly today. We know we need to strengthen in January, but you also know you can't do everything. I want to know 2 key positions you feel Leeds United need to strengthen, and I'll get into my reasons why I choose mine in this video. Also going to be touching on a transfer rumor that's been rebuffed already, and also Daniel Farke chat, but not too much from me, but it's more about comments you guys have left, and I want to know which side of the line you fall on between 2 comments I've selected. But listen, people, before I continue, please like the video. It's free to do, helps out the channel immensely. Thank you to Phil, Isaac, Jason, and Mr. P for super thanks on the last few videos. Much appreciated, guys. And of course, big up to every single member of the channel. You make this thing go. So listen, people, we've kind of rounded up the next game week of results. Wolves, Man United, it doesn't matter, does it? Even if Wolves win, they'll be on 5 points. You know what I mean? They're nowhere near it. So going to just discount them. But 2 teams around us yesterday did play. And West Ham almost snuck away with 3 points. But a late Georgie goal got Brighton a point, which is great. But West Ham, that's 2 good points, you know, against Man United, against Brighton away. They're not going anywhere, people. Fulham lost as well, which was a good result for us. Palace going into the top 4, just, you know, brilliant stuff from Glasner and co. But that leaves us here, 16th. Obviously, 15 games played, 15 points, point per game, back on that again. But, you know, it's very, very tight down there, very tight. But, hey, if you say 16th we finish, I'd more than happily take that. And I'm sure the club would too. But in order to do that, we're going to need to strengthen in the window. And I think that's pretty evident, right? And one player I've spoken about before is Martin Baturina. And listen, it says via Fabrizio Romano, people, but I'm going to be real. I listened to Fabrizio's channel and I didn't hear or see Martin Baturina's name. But because a few people have spoken about it in terms of Italian press and local journals, I'm just going to, you know, just brand it up here. Como has rejected an offer from Leeds United for Martin Baturina. Despite the limited playing time, the Nizuri don't want to let go of the Croatian. And that's because he's behind Nico Paz in Como's system. And Nico Paz has got 10 goal involvements in 15 games. You know, he's at one of the, you know, next big things in football. But Martin Baturina is somebody I spoke about months ago, you know, around here. So this is like the start of the window when I was, you know, trying to accumulate, who could Leeds United sign? Look at me, silly old me. Beto, no, that still pops me though. That's pretty good headline on the old thumbnail there. But yeah, I spoke about Baturina before. But what I will say is that in terms of Como not letting him go, I understand. And he also doesn't want to leave, according to the report as well. So it looks like that's a closed avenue. But what I will say is that if it's a creative 8/10, that is one of the positions I would go with. And we're going to be speaking about this now in terms of transfers. I want you to name 2 positions. Yeah. Try limit it to 2. Even though I've said that, some of you are going to reel off 3, 4, 5. That's fine. But 2 key positions you feel we need in order to strengthen in January where possible. And we talk about an attacking midfielder. And the reason why I put that in there, and I think more hybrid 8 with the way Farke's going to play, because let's face it, Farke's going nowhere. I just feel that we need somebody else. When Tanaka's not in there, we need a better option. And again, Brendan Aronson did well in the last game, but the consistency is just not there. I feel we need more of a creative 8 in there when Tanaka needs to rest. And that's the reason why I would go for that position as the second choice. The first choice, though, outright, and I'm kind of cheating here, so maybe I'm going against my own rule, but hey, it's my video. I want 2 fullbacks. And maybe you're not going to get 2. Maybe James Justin will be the one in case of emergency. But I feel like it will be time to move on Sam Byram. He just doesn't fit here. And you just think about the scenario if with Goodmanson or Bogle going out. It's nightmarish, people. You know, to think about Goodmanson going out and James Justin filling in long term with his fitness issues, he's still not fit. Even though he started the season at Leicester, he was playing games. Obviously, you're going to get rusty the more you're not playing, but you know he's always going to carry that injury risk. That's what he is. And then if you're going to have him on the right for, say, if Bogle gets suspended and then Goodmanson's out for whatever reasons, it means Byram comes in. Now, listen, at this point, we're already being targeted on the left-hand side. As good as Goodmanson has been, and he has been good overall, I'm not taking that away from him, but you can't get away from the facts that the left-hand side for us has been targeted by opposing teams. You can't get away from that. And I just feel Gabriel Goodmanson, I said it in the summer and I'll say it again, he needs competition on that left-hand side James Justin is a backup. Sam Byram is a backup. You need him to have genuine competition to keep him hungry. And you even saw when he got dropped for James Justin, he came back and he was hungry. That's what it takes. But I think he needs genuine competition in that position. And I think Leeds needs strengthening on that side just to give us another option in case he does go down injured or go out suspended. Same with Jaden Bogle, but I'm less hopeful on that side because we do have James Justin, and I think Farke does trust him. But if I could solidify one area, it would be the fullbacks. Now, striker will be another one. That's a third one. But the reason why I don't say striker outright is because we've still got Joel Peru on the books. Now, if he gets sold, then yes, you have to replace him. And we still have Harry Gray in reserve. Now, some people will be scoffing at Harry Gray. I don't. I think if you're talking about natural talent, he is our most naturally talented forward at the football club. And I do believe in Harry Gray if he is to be called up and he has to have a shot in the team at some point. I don't believe age is a restriction. If you're good enough, you're old enough, in my opinion. So that's why I'm not so, even though we know, and we've seen it in just a recent game with Mecha, played against Chelsea, had a really good game, could not, start the next game against Liverpool a few days later. We've seen that he's played a few games in a row. His body, DCL's body, they're holding up. They're in ice all the time. We know there's a risk there, but I just feel with the other forwards options that we've got in the system that we're playing, it would be more beneficial to cover ourselves in the left fullback area and an attacking midfielder. Now, if you feel differently, please put it in the comments, of course. But I think it's evident, though, with the way that we play. If you take out certain players in this team, it's very different. And I'll just go with the Chelsea Liverpool games for instance. Chelsea, that was probably our best team available. That doesn't mean the best players. Okafor, you would say, is probably our naturally gifted player. But in terms of a team, that is our best lineup. And you saw when we played Liverpool, when you take out two components, which are very different from the rest, it wasn't good for 70 minutes, people. And the result is kind of covering that over, but it was not good. We didn't have a shot on target until the penalty. So it just shows you that if we don't have another creative midfielder in there and he keeps on putting Grove in there, instead of even saying Aronson, I've said it already, if you're going to take Tanaka out, you've got to put in Aronson in there just to have somebody that does actually drive forward. But if you can get me a better technical player in that role, I'm all for it. And you saw with Mecha going out, Okafor up front. Okafor's already said his preferred position is off the left when he signed. And that was very evident because he wasn't doing much in that two up front. So, yeah, it's important for me that we shore up some of these positions. But what say you in regards to that? Let me know your two positions that you would fill, if you can keep it to two, of course. Now, listen, just on Farke quickly, because you guys know my position, so I don't need to keep going over it. But I had like differing comments, of course, and that happens in when you get these forums. But I'm interested to see which side of the line you fall on. And this is from Leslie, who said, "It's obvious Farke is fighting like crazy for his job. I will only be convinced if he keeps up this kind of in-game management over the next 5 to 6 games. If a decent manager arises, I still want him gone. Tanaka should be starting every game. He's our best midfielder." Yeah, Leslie doesn't believe in commas or anything, but you get the gist of his comment there. He's giving him the next 5 to 6 games to see if he continues in this adaptable vein. Then you've got this kind of comment, which says, "Huge credit to Farke and the squad. Farke made the right decisions in the last 2 games. The question now will be, can Farke get it right against a dogged Brentford away from home, a lesser occasion, and without the Ellen Road crowd behind the boys? I feel on cloud nine right now, but let's have it right. A poor performance and a loss versus Brentford, and we'll be back to doubting him again, in my opinion. Let's build on this now. Leeds marching on together." And that's the thing I wanted to go to. In terms of that, yeah, it was a good week, and there's no getting away from that. 3 points against Chelsea, 1 against Liverpool, awesome. But this comment is kind of right, and this is just one of a few comments that do sound like this, where if we undo that all against Brentford, and let's just say we lose the game 3-0, is it going to be a case where Farke's job's in question again? And I just don't know if we can just keep doing that at this stage. I've already made my stance clear. I don't need to repeat it. But if you're going to go on a basis of each game being the manager's jobs on the line, that's a very, very short and kind of unfair rope as well. And the reason why I say that is because we are going to lose games, people. I know we haven't lost in 2, but realistically, there's going to be tough games ahead. And the thing is, as well, it sounds crazy, but the teams around us will probably match us up a bit better than the teams like Chelsea and Liverpool. It's going to be one of those where they can probably fight fire with fire, especially when you look at Brentford and some of the big boys that they've got in their team. They're not going to be so intimidated to go for that second ball against Leeds United. And even against Liverpool, we dropped off a bit in that sense. So it's one of those things now where, are you on the side of you want to see him do it now for the next 5 or 6 games like Leslie? Or are you like old Bab here where you're thinking, well, if he messes it up in the next game, let's just say he starts a 4-3-3, Aronson there, DCL up front on his own. Does that mean that you want you want his head again? Is that where you're going in terms of that? Which side do you lean on in the main? Let me know in the comments if you're on either side, or if you're willing to give him the rest of the season because of the week that we've had. Let me know in the comments. I'm just very interested to get a temperature check on where people are feeling at this point in time. I think it's very interesting. Like, the job, he's still under pressure. Don't get me wrong, because the rope is short for him, because we've seen his limitations up until 2 games and a half. But I don't know if it's feasible for a manager to work on. Well, if I lose the next game, everyone's going to be saying I should be sacked. That's where I go when the 49ers have obviously put out another report saying that Daniel Farke's job's on the line if he loses against Liverpool and Chelsea. When you're living on that basis, it kind of already means that you've already kind of given up with the manager, but that's on them. I'm interested to hear from you, your thoughts. But listen, people, that is the video. Let me know your thoughts on anything in regards to the transfers, Farke, whatever it may be. And I'll see you in the next one, people. Like the video before you go. Peace out.